What's up? I'm Troubleshoot. Out of all the Minecraft mod packs, I'm pretty sure All the Mods is the one that needs the least introduction. So without further ado, this video is going to cover how to set up your own All the Mods 11 dedicated server completely for free, as it released quite literally just a few days ago. But before we begin, this video was sponsored by Apex Hosting, so if you're looking for a powerful, hassle-free way to get your server up and running, be it Minecraft, Hightail, Windows, or anything else for that matter, I'd highly recommend you check out the first link in the description down below, as Apex Hosting offer powerful hardware, automated backups, great customer support, and so much more. So when you're ready, head across to the first link down below, check the top of the page for the current coupon code. Right now it's APEX25 for 25% off your first order, and click Get Your Server. Choose your game from the dropdown, choose your server configuration, and in no time, you'll have your own dedicated, powerful server up and running. Just a quick hint, under server version, you can open this, search ACM, and you'll find all the different All the Mods, including the latest All the Mods 11, so you've got even less to worry about. A huge shout out to Apex Hosting for sponsoring this guide. So, All the Mods 11. If you want to set up your own dedicated server, it's the usual Minecraft server setup with a couple of things that might be a bit different. In the description down below, you'll find the CurseForge link to the official All the Mods 11 mod pack, and of course you'll need to install the mod pack if you haven't already, using either the CurseForge launcher or something like Prism launcher, which is what I'll be using. So I'll just go to CurseForge, I'll search for All the Mods 11 and get that set up. To get the actual server files, head across to the CurseForge page linked down below, All the Mods 11, scroll down, and on the sidebar you should find recent files, with right below it the latest server packs, which we can just click over here to download. Once you choose download, you'll have your own dedicated server files ready for you inside of a zip like this. What we need to do is extract these to a folder. I'll make a new one on my desktop just called ATM11. I can then drag everything out from the zip into this folder, and in order to actually start, all we need to do is just double-click startserver.bat. The server file basically downloads the latest version of NeoForge that's compatible with this project, checks for Java on your PC, and tells you it's not found if you're having issues. If you see the Java error, head across to the next link down below, Adoptium. Here you can choose version 25 for Windows, Mac, whatever you're using, and scroll down where you'll then see the Windows, where we'll choose JRE, which is the runtime, a lot smaller, and it's all that we need. Choose MSI for the installer, click the download button right next to it, and then click through the Java installer. Then all the way down here, it just checks to see if it can run. It checks for server.properties and customizes what it needs, and then finally actually gets to launching your server. So just double clicking on this gets the Java file to download, and our server setup should begin. While this is downloading, you'll find user jvm args.txt, which when opened up with a text editor is all of your customizable options for your server, including how much RAM it has. XMS is the starting amount of RAM, and XMX is the maximum amount of RAM that your server can use. If you pull up Task Manager using Control-Shift and Escape, or Control-Delete, head across to Performance followed by Memory. Over here, you'll see the total amount of RAM in your system and how much is currently in use. I've got a ludicrous amount, but essentially, you'll need space on your RAM for everything currently running, your game on top of that, and then whatever's left, minus a little bit for Windows, your browser, Discord, etc., you can give to the game server. Say you have 24 gigs, 8 is currently in use, it leaves you with 16. We can give the server, say, 15 of our 16, leaving just a little bit for Discord, our browser, and things like that in the background. If you're going to be running the game at the same time, maybe 8 to each is as high as you can go. But as I've got a crazy amount, I'll set the maximum to 16, essentially leaving XMS for starting and XMX for maximum. Changing the number just before G allows you to change the total amount of RAM. Everything is explained up here. Saving this file and closing it, we're done there. Next, you should see a server.properties file, assuming your server has already started booting up for the first time, which is going to be the longest time, and it should eventually say you need to agree to the EULA in order to run your server. It seems like it'll keep restarting in the background, so I'll just need to close out of this window and open up the brand new EULA.txt file with any text editor like Notepad, and we'll just change EULA equals false to EULA equals true. We can save this, close it, and we've also got got a server.properties file, which we can open and customize our server inside of here. If it looks a bit bare, don't worry. Head across to the server folder and actually start your server again by double-clicking start server.bat. As it's starting up, more files should generate, and of course the server.properties is filled up with the rest of the missing options. Inside of server.properties, we can scroll down, change the default game mode. If you want to make it creative, we can change the level seed, and of course customize the MOTD, which shows just under your server's name in server lists. For now, everything's fine. I'll just close this file and we're done here. Waiting for our server to fully start up, we'll start up our game and we should be able to join it. So from the main menu, I'll head across to multiplayer, proceed, and we can add a server here where the address should be 127.0.0.1 to join the server running in the background over here. I'll choose done, and just like that, we can now join our All the Mods 10 server. I guess they haven't updated the server properties just yet, but rest assured this is All the Mods 11. Connecting to our server, you can see some things happening in the background, and in no time we're dropped into the actual world where we can run around, play the game as usual. If you'd like to use commands like game mode inside of your server's terminal, just type in op space your username, in my case techno, just like that. We've been made operator using /game mode C or creative. We're able to enter creative mode, fly around and spawn things in from all of All the Mods 11. Now, of course, at this point, we're just playing by ourselves. We can progress through the quest book, challenges, etc. But if you like to play with friends, which is probably why you're here, there's a few more steps that we need to go through. I haven't got an article ready just yet for All the Mods 11, so you'll find one of my Minecraft articles linked down below, which runs through troubleshooting, possible Java issues, and things like that. But what we're looking for is this colorful section over here, which allows us to easily allow Minecraft port 25565 through our Windows Firewall, allowing people over the internet to connect to our server. Just simply click the copy button in the top right of this block. You'll find this page linked down below. Hit start or the Windows key and type in PowerShell here, where we can then right-click and choose Run as Administrator. Inside of PowerShell, we can right-click to paste these commands, hit enter a few times, and just like that, our Minecraft server should be allowed through our Windows Firewall. If we want someone next to us to connect to our server, we can go ahead and type ipconfig, one word, as such. When we hit enter, we should see all the different ways we're connected to the internet, including, in my case, Ethernet, and right below that, you'll find your IPv4 address of your computer. In my case, it's 192.168.1.50. For someone sitting next to me connected to the same router, they can then use this address inside of their Minecraft client here. So I'm adding a server, pasting in the address, bam, just like that, they should be able to find and join our Minecraft server. If you're running a custom antivirus firewall or something like that, you'll need to allow port 25565 through that as well. However, for people to connect over the internet, there's a few more steps. First of all, we'll need to find our public IP address, which we could do simply by just heading across to Google and typing in what is my IP. The number that it gives back to you will be your public IP address, and people can use that to connect to your server. Assuming they're unable to, it likely means you haven't got UPnP and other fancy router features like that enabled, which is fine. The next step we'll need to handle is port forwarding. It sounds scarier than it really is, but essentially, you'll be logging into your router's admin panel, usually written somewhere on the bottom of your router or network device, and we'll head across to the advanced section or settings section, followed by security and port forwarding or application forwarding, game forwarding, something along those lines, and we should see something like this. As every router is different, I've made a very simple example page here just to show you what you're looking for. Essentially, you'll be able to enter an external and internal port or an in and an out, choose a protocol, enter an IP address, and add things to a list. Inside of here, we can enter the port 25565, Minecraft's port, for both the in and the out, internal, external, etc. As this page requires me to enter a range, as it says 2, I'll just paste in the same number twice as we're only forwarding one port. Then from the drop down over here, make sure to choose TCP and UDP, otherwise enter it once, TCP, save, and do it again for UDP. Then your local IP address is collected using that ipconfig command we ran earlier. In my case, it was 192.168.1.50. Again, it's this one over here, ipconfig inside of a PowerShell or command prompt window. Check for the way you're connected to the internet, IPv4 address, and it's right here. I only need to enter the last digits here, so that's what I've done. I'll add new, And just like that, we successfully port forwarded our Minecraft server. Again, Googling what is my IP and sending your public IP address that you find on Google to your friends, they should be able to now join your server and play along with you. Of course, port forwarding, handling firewall rules and things like that might not always be possible, especially if your ISP doesn't allow you to do things like port forwarding, which is possible. You might need to call them to try and sort that out. Otherwise, if you're looking for the easy way out, again, I'd highly recommend checking out Apex Hosting using the link in the description down below to set up your server hassle-free. But anyways, that's really that. You can hop in, start exploring networks, logic, machines, programming, tunnels inside of All the Mods 11 and get things going for you and your friends really quickly. Anyways, that's it. Hopefully you found this video useful. Thank you for watching. Mine's been Troubleshoot, and I'll see you all next time. Ciao.